have already established a quorum, so we're gonna start the open session. At this point, I need a motion for approval of the agenda, please.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. I need a motion for approval of the consent agenda items.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Okay, communications.
There is
With-
approval of the election results.
Excuse me, I need approval of the election results, please.
So moved.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay.
Oh.
That communication, yeah, no communication.
No.
Okay. This is Kat. Our finance report.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello, ma'am.
Well, for this month, the Finance Department is currently in the process of completing the ESSER data collection required by the state. This includes previous expenditures under these grants as well as current plans for spending the remaining amount of the grant funds. As of the 2022 bond update, as of the end of March, we have spent $3,125,980.87 on completed and paid invoices. This leaves us with a current balance of $4,107,587.58. We currently do have approved purchases that have not been paid in the amount of $436,265.44. In your board packet is the fund balance report. Currently, this year's revenues are more than last year's. The increase in revenues would be from the increase in the assessed valuation, Prop C, delinquent tax payments, as well as the increase in transportation revenues. Our expenses are also higher than last year. This year we have known that the difference is from the increasing of salaries and the new bond improvement costs. And that's it.
Hey, any questions for Kat?
I got one quick one.
Yeah.
What kind of timeline is there for that data collection for the ESSER?
They gave us 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, this time we have academic focus.
Dr. Davis.
Dr. Davidson.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Whitman, if you'll come on out and bring our friends. We are gonna share today on the addition and success of our unified esports team. Most of the team is here, not quite all. Okay, oh, let Ronnie through. Richard, wish you could Sam maybe. Scooch, thanks. Okay, Luke, come around up front. Maybe Sam, go to the back here a little taller. Okay.
No, you don't. No, you weren't taller than me. Alright. Good evening. I'm Travis Whitman. I'm the assistant band director here, but also I'm the esports coach. So what we've been doing is unified esports. So I've got Josie Schreier, Luis Herrera, Sam Hazelrig, Richard Jackson, Jacob Tate, Yeah, Luke Ellison, and Ronnie Finn. And what we've been doing is with unified esports, we've been competing in Mario Kart 8. I'm going to let them explain kind of more what that is here in a second. But it's a way that we've combined Special Olympian students with unified partners, and we have teams of 4 race at a time with 2 Special Olympians and 2 unified partners. So Luis, what is Mario Kart?
Mario Kart as a whole it's a racing game that brings a lot of people together, friends, family, practically everyone can play. Everyone can join. It doesn't matter if you have, I don't want to say this, but like a disability, whatever you have, you can join, you can play, you can do whatever you like. It consists of, characters from the Nintendo games, so a lot of people recognize Zelda, maybe Animal Crossing, the Mario series. A lot of people recognize it from that. And apart from that, it's also, you can also take this competitively, which we are currently trying to do right now. And we, apart from that, that's as far as the game goes. It's straight to the point. Racing, competitive, bring everyone together. Everyone who wants to play, join. That simple.
We've been competing under a organization called Play Versus, which is a national organization that brings schools from all over the nation to compete in various games together. They offer multiple games like Rocket League, Mario Kart, Overwatch, a couple other games, but we decided to start here, and it's been a great time. We actually tomorrow have our first round of the playoffs. We're going into the playoffs with a record of 4-3 or 5-3, and we're actually coming in as the number 2 seed. So we've got round 1 tomorrow. Next week will be the semifinals, and then the week after that will be finals. If we make it that far, and with this crew, I'm sure we will. So underplay versus, it's more organized than just kind of some students hanging out and playing games. So they've got rule sets to it that Sam can explain.
So what the rule set is 150 cc with normal items, no random stages and 6 races, and it's a best of 3. But if you win 2 games, the race is over.
So best of 3 format. The races are played on teams. So we've got teams, and based on where you place, contributes a set amount of points to your team. So it's not just everyone racing against each other. We actually are competing as a team. And believe it or not, even in a game like Mario Kart, there's some strategy that comes into that. Blocking for each other, setting up drifts and things. So this is the playoff brackets that we're going against. I did everything I could to figure out where all these schools were from. I only found a few of them. The Titans, I think, are from Minnesota. Moving through, we have CHS. CHS actually has 2 teams. So our first round tomorrow, we're going to play CHS 1. And then from there, the bracket will kind of figure itself out. Here we've just got some pictures of them playing. Here's kind of how we have things set up. So we're able to take our switch systems that we have, the school district only having 1, and then the students have their own that they supply as well. We're able to hook up to just the monitors that we already have, and as well as we've borrowed this TV, which works great. So the switch system really allows us to kind of play anywhere that we can find space, which has been really nice.
We're gonna rest a minute.
So this is what a race kind of looks like and how they'll be playing. So this was earlier in the season. We actually had enough people present that we were able to run 2 teams. So up in front of this room here, we've got 1 team that's running. And then here in a second, I'll look back, and towards the back of the room, we've got another team set up back here. So we're able to race, at this point, 8 players at a time and competing 2 games simultaneously. And for those of you interested, we did win both of those. So the season's going very well. Very excited to be able to do this. This is truly a great group of students. They're all passionate and they love what they do and compete very well together. So with that, I'd love to answer any questions if there are any.
You guys ever argue about which character is yours?
Sometimes. There's a lot of, hey, I'm on the left side, switch me seats.
We do that in my family too. So.
No, I think some of their favorite things to do is all of them pick the same character, which then it gets really confusing.
I don't know.
We change character each round. So
Well, you said that just anybody can participate, but I'm horrible at video games, stuff like that. So would you guys be able to teach me?
That's all right.
Yeah.
We don't mind teaching you.
You don't? Well, you have your work cut out.
I was new at Mario Kart and I just joined and I don't know what I'm doing and they're teaching me how to
So
do it. So
you and I should be on the same team.
We've got ways to help. The game itself actually has some features that'll help you drive. So
Like you can play the slowest and try and set the computer players as easy to help you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's
So,
for me.
what's it like being the only girl? Are you the mama? Are you the little sister? Do you take care of everybody, or do these guys take good care of you?
just keeps them in line.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Ronnie answered that. He said both. And we have Mrs. Tammy Jamay with us. She's one of our paraprofessionals at the high school. She helps the team, and then also Mrs. Angela Sharp, who couldn't be here tonight. So those 2 paras join the team. They practice. What days do you practice?
Tuesday,
And then what days do you compete?
Wednesday.
Yep.
You said, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You said tomorrow is the start of the playoffs?
Tomorrow's round 1 of the playoffs, correct?
Okay.
Why do we have 3 losses so far?
So those, I will put it this way: we are undefeated in games that we have played. Unfortunately, because of the way things are set up, we have to be in session in order to have students present to compete. So our 3 losses actually come from forfeitures that we've had to kind of give up as well. Because again, competing nationwide, whether or not we're in school, if we have a snow day here, folks out in New Mexico and Arizona probably aren't having the same kind of weather.
We had a Wednesday traditional snow day, we had a red day, and then I forget what the third Wednesday was, but I wanted to plug that they really haven't lost 3, they just had to take 3 losses.
That was parent teacher.
Was it, in spring enrollment, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Thank you, good
So
call.
I'm gonna say we're undefeated.
So
We are. You're undefeated.
You're the sleeper in the
Yeah.
bracket.
That's right.
That's a good place to be as the underdog.
Number 2 sees not a sleeper.
That's very true.
So what time tomorrow will the
Game
your playoffs
Ronnie
kick off?
had an answer for you. Louder, Ronnie. Play at what time? 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Game starts at 3. We're working on a way, but it's not looking like we're going to find a solution this season. But we're working on a way to be able to stream those games eventually to YouTube channels and other pages as well. So we will, that bracket that's up there is actually not Play versus bracket. I threw that together today. I'm going to keep that updated. And then if we can share that to social medias and everything, kind of keep everyone in the loop of how we're doing in playoffs. So.
Fantastic.
Are we able to possibly put more teams in if more kids get involved?
So we're able through Play versus on their unified side of things is actually free for unified teams. So we can actually register as many teams as we have players to fill. We went into the season with trying to figure out who could come, who we had transportation and things for. We registered 3 teams, and then just through knowing who consistently can be there and solving some other problems, we're be whittled down to just 1. But it's working very well. On the other side of things, if we were to compete on a non-unified side of things, Play versus is quite expensive. So we're fortunate that Play versus is actually partnered with Special Olympics on the national level. So they offer free enrollment for those, free registration, and they actually, Play versus provided us with a switch for no charge.
I wanted just to say thank you to all of you for coming and being willing to stand up in front of us and share a little bit about that. Thanks for letting me know that if I can sneak over there, you'll help me. I appreciate that.
Good luck
Let's
tomorrow.
give them a hand.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now go home and practice, because
Yes.
the playoffs start tomorrow.
Yeah, up next, we have our staff to recognize a special staff member for this month.
Well, we have a couple things. First of all, Dr. Davidson, thank you for stepping back in. I want to recognize Dr. Davidson. She was recognized by the Missouri Association of Student Councils 2022-23 Trails West District Administrator of the Year. So thank you for everything you've done. Thank you. The other recognition is the Making a Difference Award, and Mr. King was the individual that we recognized for April. He's not here tonight, but I do want to read off some of the things that the employees said, his peers said about him. He not only makes a difference with children who need help with math, but he also is helping out staff learn new ways of math to make it fun to teach. Goes into the classrooms to show various math skills, what makes learning fun. That makes learning math fun for the students. His passion for math is evident in all that he does. He is great at modeling, sharing, and working with students. He's always willing to put in the extra time to share his love with math. So congratulations to Mr. King, and we did recognize him at the building level last week and on social media and our website as well. Very good.
Okay. Next up, we have our superintendent's report.
Yeah, I got a few things. First of all, the administrative reports are in your board packet for your review. Wanted to make mention that we have upcoming graduation. 2023 graduates planned for May 11th at the stadium. Just as a reminder, we pushed the board meeting back to the following week for that month because of activities going on that week. I want to make a couple acknowledgements at this time. I want to first of all thank a couple outgoing board members. Mr. Aaron Dillon has served a couple stints over the past 23 years on the board. Thank you very much for your service to the students of Odessa and all that you've done. And I also want to recognize Tim Wolfcutter for his service, 12 years on the board and serving the students of Odessa. So thank you very much.
Take 33 years combined. 33.
Yeah.
If we go to the hallway, we're leaving.
We go right there. And that's like you've never seen this happen.
I was waiting for him to go for the second time. There is that.
We're gonna go do that.
No. Shouldn't get a second.
Thank you very much. I also want to congratulate and welcome Ms. Kelsey Leggett and Mr. Adam Bradley for their successful candidacy to take those two seats on the Board of Education. And here in a few minutes, we'll get them sworn in and reorganize the board at that time. So congratulations and welcome.
Next up is our discussion items and our network for educator effectiveness, the NEE.
Dr.
Yeah,
McClain.
Mr. Come on down.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to refer to it as the NEE program. It's referred to an informal name, the Network for Educator Effectiveness. So to better align our teacher evaluations, the district adopted the NEE evaluation tool this year. Starting last summer, district admin began to train with NEE scoring rubrics. This involved working with other professionals and NEE trainers on how to consistently utilize the grading rubrics provided by NEE whenever they enter the classroom and capture what is observed. All administrators naturally view different things due to their backgrounds and individual preferences. So the NEE enables administration to look for specific areas and concepts in the classroom with instruction on how to evaluate what is truly observed. District admin met before the school year and agreed to utilize the NEE indicators 1.2, 5.3b, and 7.4. More details, that would be, we were looking for the teachers cognitively engaging students with the content, teachers establishing secure teacher-student relationships, and the teacher's ability to monitor the effectiveness of instruction on the whole class and individual learning. So the data that was scored throughout the year has been provided in your packet. That data kept over the course of the school year showed that from the beginning till about April, scores gradually increased in all of those areas. This implied that the feedback administrators were giving to teachers on areas that they wanted to see growth and improvement was then reviewed and scored accordingly to measure that improvement. During the school year, administration would meet with each other to discuss the NEE evaluation experience. We would look at data and work to calibrate. Calibration was necessary to help develop as much consistency and support for each administrator as possible. Groups of administrators and central office administrators would participate in observations around the district so that we could review what was observed and properly score using that cohort of peers. Moving forward, we plan to use this data from this last year to plan for improvements for next school year. Administrators will continue with the summer refresher training, and we will have professional development as it relates to completing a schedule for a total number of observations, as well as how to improve with constructive teacher feedback during follow-up meetings.
Questions?
Is there any questions?
Can you elaborate on the calibration?
The calibration
How it works.
piece,
How
the important part of that would be if two administrators, myself and Dr. Fagan, for example, walked into the room, it would be, we'd go out and decompress on what did you see, what did I see, to see that it's kind of aligned. And through that process, we found very different backgrounds in the administration that we could come together into having somewhat of a consistent tool. I look at it like if you were praising something for value, you want to have all your appraisers kind of on the same ballpark and not be all over the place, because truly we should have some consistency in what we recognize is going on in the classroom as it relates to those chosen indicators. If we have one administrator giving a 2 on a 7-point scale and the other one gives it a 6, we're out of whack. And over time, that calibration, because the data led us to say we're in need of some calibration real quick, and I could pursue additional input from the knee organizers on how to facilitate that. And it really kind of worked to kind of even out our data a little bit.
So how, I guess my next question would be how do you do that without, obviously, both administrators' point of view and what they bring to the table is important. And how does the calibration take place without discounting those individual?
It's difficult, especially if there isn't a desire to kind of want to get on the same page. But truly, it is subjective, but the rubric helps to make it as objective as possible. And so there's little tricks. And some of those tricks were even found if I was walking around Upper and I noticed something Mr. Doring did, then it was my job to then I could share that with the rest of the group, and it helped them become as consistent as possible. Because we all see different things with different eye sets, but we still want to try to get as accurate as we can. But even knowing that next year I have some goals to even get more of the district walkthroughs, because an administrator at the elementary level has a whole different level of experience than maybe a secondary, but sometimes that input may be valuable because they may see something that secondary administrators had never noticed or even taken for granted. So I think that cohort of peers growing them has been a big advantage of the knee system that maybe we didn't have in the past.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. McLean, can you speak to the exemplars that the state basically uses to certify administrators? And how many times those have been evaluated to say this is a 4, we're going to place this in. Can you just talk about the
Sure,
certification
and
process?
I'll give you the best that I understand, and if I'm missing the mark, please redirect me. I think the training that they show us is they'll show videos of teachers from other classrooms across Missouri and across the country as this tool is now being utilized on a national level because it's knocking the socks off of other evaluation tools that they're going to Washington and presenting. But they will show us a lot of videos of an example of maybe a 9th grade math classroom. This is what a 6 would look like. And so then when we score it, we can kind of calibrate with what they have standardized to be a 6 or a 7 or a 5. And so that aspect needs to always be revisited because we routinely, it's hard to not want to over-evaluate and just make it subjective to right where it needs to be. So it's good to always go against those standardized exemplar examples that NEED provides us. And that's why we have to continue to recertify them in the summers, because we go back with other administrators and they maybe have updated their data on NEED's side of things to provide additional exemplar examples for us to align with. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I hope that's what I was
yeah,
leaning
that's
towards.
kind of what I was wanting to pull out. Thank you.
And that's difficult for a district because we may say we're knocking the socks out of this, but we need to always kind of rub elbows with the ones that are, so that we can more align with what we want to do.
Mr. McLean, because of the way we have done this in the past, are we starting to get everybody on board?
I believe so,
with the
sir.
need? Not that they were wrong, but everybody had their own idea of how to do this and their own process. get some of them on board. I know it was kind of a rocky start at times, so it's, I think everybody's buying into the knee now.
I think it's created great data and great conversation for growth even amongst the admin team. As far as the teachers, we've had a lot of teachers come into the district this year that have already used the knee tool, and so they were already used to it. There's some additional components of the knee that we will start to implement in future years for professional growth, for individual student growth and measuring that. But I do believe as an admin team, they're very appreciative of this alignment and the growth that has occurred. This is just my opinion. We can ask them as well. The growth that's occurred by us sitting around and talking about what effective instruction looks like. Because we want to put some data to it and let that drive our opinion and not just always what we see with our eyes. Because our eyes can deceive us sometimes.
I know there's a lot more that you guys can push the teachers to do in evaluations and different things. And I'm glad that you guys are starting kind of with 3 and kind of working our way up into what it can fully do and not overwhelming the teachers. So I think it's a good way to ease our teachers into it. So.
And to piggyback off that, your question is, we wanted to seek out the input of our admin team because we need buy-in from them as well. So where did we want to start with like a standard for how many we're going to get done? We decided that as an admin group, these were the indicators we wanted, and they ended up choosing all the same indicators for the entire district, which made it better for our calibration as well. So everybody's had a hand in this as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you all.
Okay, next up, we have action items and our second reading of job descriptions.
Yeah, the following job descriptions were presented for a first reading in March and are now submitted for approval. They are the superintendent, assistant superintendent, director of finance, and director of teaching and learning.
Make a motion we approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, up next, we have the 2023-24 Child Care Center and SOAR handbooks.
Yeah, Mr. Armstrong and Ms. Reynolds have gone through and updated this to reflect for next school year and have submitted it for approval.
Does anybody have any questions on the handbook this time?
We made any updates?
Not a lot.
Note?
Not really. Most of it's just updating for the new year, the new calendar year.
Okay, at this point, I need a motion to adopt the 2023-24 Child Care Center and SOAR handbooks.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Next, we have out-of-state student travel request, FBLA.
Dr. Fay.
Yes, this is for FBLA National Leadership Conference this summer. Multiple students that qualify for it.
Any discussion?
Make a motion we approve the request.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, now we have 20A, amendment, the CSIP plan.
The comprehensive school improvement plan was submitted for a first reading last month and brought back for approval this month. Kind of detailing, laying out our groundwork for the next few years and what our focuses will be. So, Dr. McLean or I would be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions on the CSIP?
That was a good presentation.
Yes.
I'd make a motion we approve the CC.
Could I have a second, please? Second. All in favor? Okay. At this point, we need a motion to adjourn meeting, signed aye, please.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay.
fellas.
What am I taking? Oh,
No, I'm gonna take my device.
yeah.
I gotta log out.
You never have to recall that.
No, I don't.
Feel it once in a while.
Feel it. Yep. Yep, take care. See ya. Take care.
See you.
Congratulations.
Guys, have fun.
Yeah, wherever you want to go.
Wherever, it's fine.
Sworn in.
Right here.
Yeah.
All right. If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of school director
discharge the duties of school director
in and for Odessa R-VII School District,
in and for Odessa R-VII School District,
County of Lafayette, State of Missouri,
County of Lafayette, State of Missouri,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
according to law,
according to law,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. We
Congratulations.
have those for you to sign. Okay? And we also have technology savings that you have to sign. I'll just put these down right here. Absolutely. You're welcome.
Brian, check the interest rate on that before you sign.
We'll take care of the others,
Oh, okay.
pieces later.
Can't borrow it.
And thank you. It's Would you please take a seat and I'll put your name in.
It wants me.
Come on down.
Yeah.
All right, at this time, I will take nominations for school board president.
Nominate Brian Hamel.
Okay. There's no further nominations, and I will close the nomination. And do we formally vote on that, Janet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, at this time, I will take a vote for Brian Young as board president. All those in favor, show of hands. Okay. And now I'll turn it over to you. Seem like you still running.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I need to take nominations for vice president. I need a motion or for a nomination for vice president.
I would make a motion to nominate Cole Shippey.
Is there any other at this point I'd like a motion to cease? We do that?
Yeah.
Cease nominations, can I have a motion to cease nominations? Can you do that?
Y'all need, I don't know that you need it.
Okay. Can we,
If there's no other nominations. take a
Yeah.
vote.
okay. Any other nominations? If not, do we have a motion to approve Bill Shipley as vice president? Please? All in favor? Okay. You ought to vote for yourself.
If you don't believe it.
You don't have
I
to.
did. You just wanted an extra vote, didn't you? That's what it was. Just wanted an extra vote.
Yeah. Now, we need, at this point, we need a motion to employ Kat Andrew as the board treasurer. Is that right? To appoint.
Motion to appoint Kat Andrew as board treasurer.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, at this point,
Secretary.
we need that,
Yeah.
make a
Do it
motion.
formally.
I need a motion to appoint Janet as board secretary.
So moved.
All in favor? Okay. Is there any other stuff you want to throw at me?
Going back in closed session.
Okay, at this point, I need a motion to conduct a closed executive session, including any record or vote at the next scheduled meeting pursuant to statutes contained in chapter 610.021 RSM